Alright, so now I'm going to be doing a Lux test on the 400 watt HPS light. You can see I've got the ballast there, and I've got it plugged in right here to the outlet. Then the other side goes out into the light itself, and the light's there positioned at the test station. And the test station, this Lux meter down there, is approximately 10 feet or 120 inches from the sensor. And so again, this test says very little about how a light is going to perform on the water, so take it with a grain of salt. It is just a pinpoint measurement of a light, particular light source at a given distance. In this case, HPS light, 10 feet away. The more light that hits that sensor, the higher the number goes on the meter. So let's zoom in on the meter. So here you can see it's about 1725. So that, again, that is just the higher that number is, the more light is hitting the sensor. Or the more light that hits the sensor, the higher the number goes. It fluctuates a little bit, but it's only measuring how much light is hitting that little bitty sensor. It doesn't say anything about light down here, or light over there, or up here, or anywhere else other than that little sensor. So I'm not going to handle the light itself and rotate it around to try to get the number to go higher, but I do have it aimed pretty much straight at it, which is the most intense part of it, lined up with the sensor, just because this is too hot to touch. But there you are, about 1725 Lux at 10 feet for 400 watt HPS. Alright, so now I'm going to be doing a Lux test with the 130 watt efficiency Maximus light. And as you can see, I've got the power supply hooked up here and the AC cable going into the outlet. And I've got two driver packs, one for each bank of LEDs, and they are daisy chained together to operate on the same controller. And I've got three cables, two for the light, one for the controller. And then I've got the controller on, turned all the way up, and in the warmest setting. Maximus light is there. And then I've got the light positioned about 10 feet from the sensor. Again, here you go, 120 inches. So again, this test does not say much about where the light is going. It is just a pinpoint measurement of the light source, at a given distance. Pinpoint measurement of light, which is basically the measurement of its intensity. So again, it says very little of where that light is actually going. So it's not measuring light over there, it's not measuring light down here or anywhere else other than that on that sensor. So everything is on. I get in the warmest color, and let's make the number go as high as we can here. Okay. So I'm going to rotate the light back and forth a little bit just to make it go up as high as we can get it. So the further back I go, the less light is hitting the sensor, because again, the brightest point of any light, or LED light I should say, the brightest point of it is directly head on from the chip. So if I tip it down far, you're below the termination line, not going to get much light there. So I tip it back, and then the more light hits that sensor, the higher the number goes. So here we are, about 1600 and something. 1635. And I'm going to be doing a Lux test on the 130 watt efficiency Maximus light. So as you can see, I've got everything hooked up the same way as before. AC going into the converter, 2 driver packs for the Maximus, and then we got 2 cables for the Maximus for the upper and lower, and then 1 more cable for the controller. Got the controller turned on here all the way up, highest white setting all the way up, and then so the distance between the test station, the light, and the sensor is again 10 feet, 120 inches. There's the Maximus light right here. And then, so again, the Lux test is just a pinpoint measurement of light from that light source at a given distance. So the more light that hits this sensor, the higher the number on the meter goes. This is more or less just a measurement of that light's intensity. So let's go ahead with this here. So I'm going to zoom in on the meter, and I'm going to make that number go as high as I can. It's in the same setting as all the previous tests, and going to start tipping the light back a little bit. So we're off the scale. So it goes all the way up to 1900 and skips over to air it out. It's aired out because the intensity is too high for the sensor. So what I'm going to do is adjust the meter to the next range. Here you can see the ranges here. I'm going to hit that button, and essentially moves a decimal point over. So everything you see on there now is times 10. So like before, instead of 1300, we're 130. So that number is actually times, you got to multiply it by 10 to get the actual reading there at 10 feet. So now I'm going to tip it back here and make that number go as high as we possibly can. About 240. Oops. Just about 240 there, 238, 240. So that multiplied by 10 is 2,400 in basically in the setting that we tested all the other lights in.